Hello, welcome once again to Lehto's Law. I'm Steve Lehto. I apologize for the skin tone. I spent some time in the sun yesterday in a canoe on a river, and what can I tell you? It's a temporary thing, but there's a video coming up about that shortly. But today I'm talking about what happens when the police chief gets arrested, because there's a story out of the Free Press, and somebody else sent me the story out of the local newspaper up there in Bay City. But the former police chief of the village of Oakley, Michigan, is going to prison, and it's a weird, convoluted story, but it's fascinating on some levels. Um, the police chief was known for building a controversial volunteer reserve force in the small village of Oakley, Michigan. Now, federal prosecutors say that he ran a firearms fraud scheme, and he was sentenced to prison recently, saying he was humbled, ashamed, and completely remorseful. Robert Resnick pleaded guilty to charges of wire fraud and filing a false tax return, was sentenced by Judge Thomas Ludington to 12 months and a day in federal prison. And his attorney said that getting that year and a day will allow him to qualify for a good time in prison, which would shave time off his sentence if things go well. Resnick is 60, from Swartz Creek, Michigan, was accused by prosecutors of using his position as police chief in Oakley to buy firearms, ammunition, and other equipment from suppliers at reduced rates. According to his plea agreement, Resnick claimed the weaponry was for police work, but he actually sold the goods to his reserve officers. Prosecutors said that Resnick cheated on his taxes, failing to disclose his income from the sales of the guns and ammunition. Police and thieves. Ludington asked Resnick why he excluded that information, and he said, "I didn't want to leave a paper trail." Resnick owes more than $124,000 in restitution and more than $4,500 in prosecution costs now. Standing before the judge in the federal court in Bay City, which of course is where the Bay City Rollers got their name from, if you believe him, Resnick said he used terrible judgment. He said he regrets not keeping control of the reserve program to make sure the volunteers did training, which of course is not what they wanted to do. Because what was going on is that if you were in Michigan and you heard about this little thing going on up in Oakley, you could pay some money and become a reserve officer. And when you became a reserve officer, they'd give you a badge, and it would give you the right to carry a gun places that regular people who aren't reserve officers can't carry guns. And so a lot of people who had never been to Oakley and had never heard of Oakley did this and became reserve officers in Oakley. Now, they weren't really going to ever go to Oakley or do anything in Oakley. And the town of Oakley is only 300 people in the population. So when he had 120 people on the reserve police force, some people thought that something was out of whack there. And even he says it was out of control. In sentencing Resnick, Ludington noted he'd received a stack of letters from the former chief's supporters, more than 3 dozen letters. But Ludington told Resnick the letters paint a picture of someone who is considerate and caring, but you know something? This calls for prison time because this isn't a one-time error of judgment. The judge said that there were multiple transactions over multiple years, so it wasn't just a simple mistake. Resnick is out on bond right now. He'll get to have a date where he can turn himself in, and it's not yet known where he will end up because that's up to the Bureau of Prisons. When he was a top cop in Oakley, Resnick had more than 100 reserve officers, including powerful Metro Detroit businessmen and famous rock stars like Kid Rock. Also, I believe there's an NFL football player amongst the group. And this police department he had was largely funded by donations from the volunteers. So again, if you wanted to become a reserve officer in Michigan, in Oakley, you pay some money and you get to be a reserve officer. Now, the allegation is not that Resnick pocketed any of that money, because he didn't, apparently, according to this. But what happened then was he went out and approached people who sell things wholesale that police departments might need, like gear and weapons and ammunition. And somewhere along the line, it became a pay-to-play system for badges and enhanced concealed carry permits, according to court filings. And there are no state standards for reserve officers in Michigan. The state agency in charge of regulating police gained the authority to regulate reserve officers more than 2 years ago, but is currently still studying the issue, and they have yet to set standards. And so this is the crazy story about how this community wound up getting divided by all of this. And really, like I said, it was simply a pay to play where if you heard about it and you talk to the right people, pay some money, get yourself a badge and a gun. And then later on, apparently, Resnick was then getting stuff from these suppliers and then selling it to the reserve officers. And now, if he's doing this under the auspices of the police department, I that might be one thing, but apparently he's doing all this off the books because he didn't want to create a paper trail. And generally speaking, when you don't want to create a paper trail because it might get you in trouble, you probably know that it's wrong, especially if you are the chief of police. Now, the funny thing is I saw on the list of things that he was alleged to have bought and sold that was involved in this transaction was tactical gear. Tactical gear. And tactical gear has become one of those new hip phrases, tactical gear. I'm waiting for someone to advertise a car as having like a tactical dashboard or tactical seats. But I'm now getting pop-ups in my social media that says, Steve, you need tactical pants. Tactical pants. And now I do wear pants. I know you can't tell from the videos, but I do wear pants. This society confines me. What can I tell you? But tactical pants? What are tactical pants? I mean, I understand that the word's taken on a secondary meaning now, but I mean, how tactical or strategic can your pants be? I don't know. I admit it, I clicked on one of them to see what it was that made the pants more tactical than the pants I'm currently wearing. Again, I am wearing pants. Or am I protesting that one too much? I don't know. And so I noticed that they basically said, look, these pants are more durable. They can do more things, go more places. They can endure a rougher lifestyle, much like military grade pants, which that would make more sense to me. Military grade pants, I'd understand that, but tactical pants? So again, if you're on the Oakley Police Reserve Force, you get a badge, you can carry a gun, and you might go up there in the holidays and maybe hand out hams or turkeys, because that's one of the things that he was trying to say that made the Reserve Force good. And you can also probably get a discount on your tactical pants. But again, like I said, I don't know how useful the tactical pants are. Whether you need them in real life or as a reserve officer, it's another story altogether. But again, the police chief formerly of Oakley, Michigan, going to prison, and it just adds kind of a funny exclamation mark to the weird story about people all over the state of Michigan carrying badges going, yeah, I'm in the Oakley Reserve Police. Whatever that might mean, no one knows. But funny story. Questions or comments? Put it below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.